Hello everyone, it's Rob here. You know, Draw with Rob, that Rob. Where am I? There I am, there's a picture of me on the back. This book is called Draw with Rob, Build a Story. I don't know if you've got this one. I think it was the third book that I did. And it's quite a good one because it tells you how to kind of put your story together, where you want to set it in the world, gives you some good locations, some characters, that kind of thing. And then by the time you get to, there's loads of kind of little tips and hints and tricks. You know, expect the unexpected, that kind of thing. And then when you get to the back of the book, I've even given you like a little template to make your own story and write your own story over a few pages. So check that one out if you haven't seen it. I should introduce myself. My name is Rob Biddulph and I'm a children's author and illustrator. You might have seen some of my picture books, like this one, Odd Dog Out. I think it's my most popular picture book. It's all about a sausage dog who doesn't fit in with the other sausage dogs. This is my latest picture book at the time of recording. It's called The Blue-Footed Booby. It's about, well, it's kind of about this booby, the blue-footed booby. Basically, there's lots of cakes that go missing in booby world because, as we all know, all red-footed boobies are bakers at heart. Desmond here makes a mean frangipane tart. In fact, he's just made one, but here's something weird. The tart that he's just made has just disappeared. Where has it gone? Have you spotted a clue? Oh, look, Desmond. Footprints, big footprints of blue. Let's follow the footprints to see where they go. Left footprint, right footprint, dash through the snow. You have to find out who has stolen the cakes. Could it be the blue-footed booby? That is a fun one. Maybe you've seen my first novel. It's called Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City. It's the first of a trilogy, 2 of which are already out. The second one's called Peanut Jones and the 12 Portals. And it is a character from the Peanut Jones books that we are going to draw today. Let's see if we can find him. Now, this character is a superhero, okay? In the Illustrated City, which is where this book is set, there is one district of the city which is called the what's it called? It's called the Strip, okay? And it's kind of a cartoon sort of district of the city where lots of cartoon characters live. Within this district, there is an area called Superhero Heights. Oh, that's not the superhero. That's one of the teachers. Oh, look, there's the bandolier. And in Superhero Heights, there are lots of superheroes. Now, one superhero that Peanut encounters, unfortunately, he was at the back of the queue on Power Giving Day. Okay, so all the cool powers like shark senses and flight and all that kind of stuff, you know, telekinesis, that kind of stuff, they'd all gone. So he was left with the not so glamorous superpowers. And the power that this guy was given, he could basically control tables. So he could get, if there was a coffee table, he could make that coffee table levitate and he could fly on it. He had control over every single type of table you could imagine. And he is called, there's my little bookmark, he's called Table Guy. And there he is, flying along on a sideboard. Okay, Table Guy. And he is a very cool superhero. He talks, he only ever talks in sentences that end with exclamation marks. And he kind of talks in a very kind of heroic way. And look, he manages to save them from an evil panda. There's the evil panda. And look, there they go. They're all off. Off they go, surfing away on their various types of table. So that is Table Guy. He's a very popular character in these books. People seem to really like him. And there is Table Guy in his heroic pose. He is saying, always remember, the great things of tomorrow arise from the ashes of today. See, he sort of talks in those superhero cliches. You know, while there is good and there is evil in this universe, there are also tables. And mankind will always need tables. He says silly things like that all the time. But he's a very cool character. So today, I thought I would show you guys how to draw Table Guy. Now this, I think, is a good contender for being our most difficult to draw yet. It's quite tricky, okay? It's quite fiddly. There's lots of details. But you know what? As I always say, it might look almost impossible to draw a superhero at the beginning. You might think, there's no way I can ever do that. But hopefully, I'm going to be able to break it down into little bite-sized pieces. And if you follow me carefully, do each step one step at a time, you're going to not believe the drawing that you end up with. He says, very hopefully. I'm a bit nervous about doing this. It is difficult to draw superheroes. So let's see if we can do it. We've got our bit of paper. We need a pen or a pencil. I think I'm going to use my thin pen today, my little Kuretake thin brush pen here, and we're going to give this a go. So grab a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, this one might take a bit longer than the others because there's a lot more elements to it. I'm going to show you how to draw Table Guy, but at the end you can customize your superhero's costume and you can make up your own superhero. That might be quite fun. You know, you can invent a power and a name for your superhero and a costume, and it might be a really, really fun thing to do. But we'll get to that a bit later. This is how Draw with Rob works in case you've never done it before. I'm going to start the drawing on my piece of paper. I'm going to draw a little bit here. Then you can pause the video, copy what I draw. Start me up again, I'll draw a little bit more. Then you draw, then I draw, then you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw. By the end, we will end up with a lovely drawing of Table Guy. Okay? Wish me luck, guys. Good luck to you too. Okay, let's start. Let me think, where am I going to start? I think I am going to start with... Let's start up here at the head. So towards the top of your drawing, okay, I want you to draw, we'll start with a straight line, just coming down like that, slightly diagonal, so not quite straight, just a couple of centimeters. Now I'm going to be doing a lot of this drawing in very little lines, little shapes, okay, because as I said, it's a complicated one. So just try and copy what I do, and it will sort of end up being a bit like a sort of one of those puzzle drawings, you know, a dot to dot thing, okay, and we'll do it a step at a time, okay. So there we go, not quite straight, slightly diagonal, 2 centimeter straight line. Then we're going to turn and go across like that. So not quite a right angle, but we're going diagonally down, then diagonally down again, but a much shallower angle, okay? Then what I want you to do, we're going to sort of curve a little bit, curve just a little bit upwards, like so, okay? At the end of that line. Then we are going to go up parallel to that first line that we drew, okay? So in a straight line, parallel, but about twice as long, roughly. Okay, that is the first part of our superhero drawing. Now this is going to end up being Table Guy's head, okay? So we're going to draw the ear now. We're going to go back to where we started, and what I want you to do here, we're going to just come out to the right, curve around and disappear back into our line like that. And believe it or not, that is going to be Table Guy's ear. Now ears, do you remember how I always draw nostrils? I do that little swirly whirly thing. I tend to do the inside of ears like that too. I don't know if you remember, we did a self-portrait a long time ago, video number 9, and I drew myself, and you guys have shown me your lovely self-portraits. And I always do the inside bits of ears because they're quite sort of fiddly, aren't they? I do them a bit like the nostrils. I do them as a swirl like this. So we're just going to swirl around like that and go back in, and that is going to be Table Guy's ear. Now, the next thing I'm going to do Table Guy's hair. This drawing is like a jigsaw puzzle. You kind of do little bits, and one bit, when I do one bit, that leads on to the next bit. And so the order that I do this in might seem quite kind of random to you, but that is just the way that I build my drawing, okay? And hopefully, as you're doing this, you will see why I do that. So the next thing I want to do is Table Guy's hair, and he's got like a big kind of quiff, a bit like Elvis, if you know who Elvis is. Okay, so what we're going to do, from next to the ear, first thing we're going to do, we're just going to come out in a little horizontal line, like that. You paying attention, guys? Then we're going to go up to the top of the ear, level with the top of the ear. Then we're just going to come out a little bit in a little curve, like that. Then we're going to turn right angles and we're going to go and join up there. So you're starting to see a sort of superhero-y head take shape, right? Let's carry on that hair quiff. We're going to go up and around towards the top of our page in a nice curve like that, and that is going to be the first part of our quiff. Okay, the front part of our quiff, sorry. So let's add some sort of spiky bits like that at the top of the quiff, because I think superheroes' hair always seems to kind of slightly blow in the wind, doesn't it, heroically? So it's slightly blowing in the wind there with some spiky bits. Then we're going to go further along till we go sort of, we're going slightly down, heading slightly down. We're going just past the ear. Okay, maybe a little bit further, like that. Okay. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go straight down, nice straight line, down past the ear, past the sort of the bottom of the chin, and we're going to stop about there. Okay. And that bit there is going to be Table Guy's neck. In fact, why don't we do the front bit of Table Guy's neck there, just coming out the middle of the head. Like that. We're starting to see our little superhero's head and neck and ear and hair take place. Let's just do the bottom of the hairline. Do a little diagonal line in there. And that is going to be our superhero's hairstyle. Okay. Now I think I'm going to do, if I was drawing this normally, just without, if I wasn't showing you guys how to do it, at this point I might colour in the hair. But I'm going to leave all the colouring and shading to the end. Okay, we'll do that right at the end. Because I don't want to overcomplicate things too much at this stage. Right, superheroes wear capes, okay? So we need to do, quite often I talk about we sort of plan ahead a little bit, don't I, when I'm doing these drawings with you? We do a little bit of forward planning. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do the bit of his costume where the cape disappears into, kind of his collarbone line. So what I want you to do, just slightly to the right of that line that we drew there, I want you to draw a slight kind of curve shape that goes up and out like that. And then we'll do one the other side so you can see what I mean. It sort of goes down in a little tiny point. So we have a short curve line, a point, and then a longer, flatter curve line like that. And that is kind of our heroes, because these superheroes, they have kind of ridiculously I can't speak. It's because I'm nervous about this drawing. It's a tough one. But they have ridiculously muscular bodies, okay? So the cape is kind of tucked into the top of the chest, the muscular chest area, which is where the shoulder blades are. And I'll show you what I mean. So I wanted to do that line first. Actually, let's continue his neck down into that, okay? But then we're going to do the cape kind of coming out. Our cape's going to be billowing out to the right, okay? Oh, sorry, can you hear that noise? That's my heater. It's a bit cold at the moment here in London, so I've got my heater. Every now and then it comes on to warm me up a little bit, so sorry about that background noise. Okay, so what then I want you to do, where the neck joins that bit of the collarbone, we're going to draw a diagonal line coming up like that, shortish diagonal line. Then we're going to do, not quite from the end, but just in a bit, we're going to do another one that disappears into the neck, which we then just colour in that little bit. So having said I'm not going to do any colouring, I immediately lied and I did a bit of colouring, sorry about that. But then we're going to do a straight line that comes out here, just above, and then it's going to go back down into there. And that is going to be one of the folds of our superhero cape. Again, this is all going to become clear a bit later on. You will have noticed I'm using quite a lot of straight lines in this drawing. That's how I decided to draw Table Guy, with lots of kind of angular lines. So it's a kind of stylized superhero drawing, because this part of the illustrated city is called, as I said, it's called the comic strip, it's called Superhero Heights. So all the characters in there are kind of cartoon characters. So we can be quite kind of stylized with our drawing. I'm not trying to make it look too realistic, okay? Right, let's do the other side of the cape now. We're going to draw just, so this little middle bit here, the little peak kind of bit, reverse peak, just to the right of that, we want to put our pen, and then we're going to do a sort of diagonal line just going up past that neckline, like that. So you can already see it looks like his neck is going into something, and what it's kind of going into is his superhero cape, okay? Let me think, what's the best thing to do? Let's go from here. We'll go from this end. And what we're going to do, we're just going to go out and around in a line out to the side. And can you see I've made it get slightly thinner at the end? And that's going to be the kind of the bottom side of the cape, the top bit of the cape. Oh, it's very confusing, this. The reason I've just done that is it's just because I'm going to go onto the body now. We're going to go onto the shoulder, but I just wanted to establish that little bit first, okay? Let's get into it. Again, the hardest thing here is trying to work out the order to do it in, for me as well as you. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So just have to bear with me a little bit, okay? The next thing I'm going to do, let's do the outline of his body now, shall we? So we're going to start here, about a centimetre, half a centimetre down from the edge of that little bit of cape we drew. I want you to draw a little slightly curved line, like that. So it goes down diagonally and then just curves in right at the end. Okay, then we're going to come out again and we're going to curve in again just a little bit, so it's like a little sort of bumpy bit and then we're going to go straight down diagonally like that. So on 2 bumpy bits and a curvy bit. Technical terms here. Let's go a bit longer actually, make it slightly longer. I think I need to make his body slightly longer in order to fit it on the page. So slightly diagonally. Then what I want you to do, I want you to go vertically down, just a centimetre or so. So we've gone from diagonal to vertical. Okay? Once we get a few more marks on the page, everything will make sense, I promise you. The next thing to do, we're going horizontally across our page, like that. Dead straight line, horizontally, and then we'll go up again. So about the same length as that vertical line there. Okay? The next thing I want you to do, we're going to go diagonally up in a straight line. So similar to that, but sort of a mirror image. And then this bit is slightly different because we are going to go out and curve around. Very slight curve. Out at an angle. Okay? So this is going to be, this area here is his chest. This is his kind of tummy here. And then this bit is the bit that's sort of where your rib cage is. And that's going to go into where his big muscular arm is. So let's draw the first part of his bicep. We're going to come from up here. We're going to curl around, just touching the end of that curve there. And we drew a curve like that. In a way, it doesn't matter if you don't know which part of the drawing you're drawing at the moment. If you're just following me, doing all of these line marks, it really is like a jigsaw puzzle. And it will all start, hopefully, he says, it will start to make sense quite soon. Okay, from the end of that curve we've just done, let's do a straight line down. Like that, centimetre. Yeah, got it? I'm spitting all over this. Getting so excited with my drawing, I'm sort of spluttering everywhere. Next, we're going to do a straight diagonal line down to about there. 2 centimetres, I'm going to say. Something like that. Then we're going to come diagonally down this way. Like so. Then straight down. I hope you're using your pause button a lot to keep up with me. Then we're going to go... Oh!
I don't know that.
Did you hear that? Alexa just went, sorry, I don't know that. Alexa, do not disturb. Just told her not to disturb me. She's ignoring me. Sometimes Alexa's really rude. Oh, well, hopefully she won't disturb me from now on. Right, where was I? Yes, little line there. Then we're going to do another little line at a different angle. Kind of diagonally angle, like that. Then, guess what? Another little line coming out to the side. I hope you're keeping up with me. Then we're going to go up. We're going to start heading back up. What on earth am I doing? I hear you say. Don't worry, it will become clear. Another diagonal line. This time we're going up like that. Can you see which bit of our chap we are drawing now? Then we're going to go up and around at the top like that. So we've been doing lots of straight lines. And this is the first curve we've done for a little while. Okay. Then I'll do another curve, just coming up like that. Slight curve, not much curving involved. And then hopefully this is the bit that's going to make some sense of it. We're going to go up in a straight line like that. Then we're going to go round diagonally and disappear into the underside of our cape. And can you see we have drawn our superhero's left arm? Can you see he's doing a heroic pose, sticking his chest out, arms by the side, nice big muscular arm there. While we're doing the arms, shall we do the other side, the other arm now? Now you're used to drawing arms. Okay, so this is the kind of the bit here is his shoulder blade. So what we want to do here, we're going to start by doing a tiny little line, just out to the side, like so. Okay. Then we're going to go out a little bit further, slightly different angle. Like that. Got it? Then we're going to go diagonally a bit. Start heading down towards the shoulder. Like that. And then we're going to come down. So we're making it much more of a kind of shoulder shape. Like so. And then let's start doing his right bicep. We're going to come down like that. Got it? We're going to come down like that. Again, quite fairly straight lines I think we've got going on here. And we're going to change, so that will be the midpoint of his arm, which comes down like so. Then we go down at a steep angle, like that, for the forearm. I think that's what we're going to call this, the forearm area. Then we need to do the hands. So we're going to come out here. So I quite like doing the hands like that with quite kind of straight lines. I'm going to go out at an angle like that, sharp turn, straight line in like so, another straight line across, straight up again, diagonally out, diagonally up, straight up. Then we're going to go out at a slight angle for a bit of a muscular forearm, back in there where the sort of the elbow joint's going to be, and then we disappear back into the body. And there we go. We've got another arm. His right arm's a bit longer than his left arm. That doesn't matter. So he's balling his fists like that. So these bits are his little thumbs, sort of tucked into his fists, and I've simplified them a lot here. And of course he's a superhero, so he wears superhero gloves. So why don't we just draw a line across there for one glove, and let's do it about there. Line across there for the other glove. Starting to look quite superhero-y, isn't he? Shall we start adding a bit of detail for his muscles? Okay, we're going to start with his kind of chest muscles here. So we're going to go from where the armpit is, which is there, and we're just going to come down and around in a quite shallow angle, like that, to suggest his kind of chest muscle area. We're going to do the same on the other side. Let me think about this. Right, we actually might. So I'm going to do a little line that just joins up there, like that, for his other kind of chest muscle. But now we're going to do a bit of kind of shading here, sort of superhero style shading, which is the very, very high contrast kind of black shadows. So what I want to do here, we're going to come down from that area. We're sort of going to go in and in again, like in a sort of, like a bit like a wave pattern. Then from here, we're just going to go up that way a little bit, down in like that, across like that, up a little bit, and then down into here. And what we're actually going to do, let's just do it, we're going to colour this bit in black, like that. So we're going to do some high contrast shading, like you actually see in proper comic books. And this is just us kind of describing our superhero's kind of tummy area. Okay? Here, I want you to draw like a big curve in there, like that. And then we're going to colour in that area too. Oh, this is really complicated, isn't it? I hope you're sticking with me, because it is tricky. But I think we're so far so good. Now this arm here would mainly be kind of in shadow actually, so let's do that, shall we? What we'll do, we'll add a little line going up there diagonally, another one coming up here sort of parallel with the outside line. Then we're going to go up and around, roughly parallel again, and let's sort of curve out like that. And we're going to go up to here, and now this is going to seem strange, but I want you to colour in all of this bit. So all of this area here, you're just going to colour it in. And it will make sense of your drawing. It seems like an odd thing to want to do at the moment, but I think it's going to work. Like that, and it's going to look like that bit of the arm is in shadow. And then what we want to do here, we wanted this sort of to go into shadow and but sort of fade out of shadow. So a way to do that is just do lots of little sort of spiky bits like that coming up, little sort of peaks, just like that, some little lines like that, and it just looks like the shadow is fading out a little bit. Whew. You might have to do a long pause for that bit to catch up with me, but it kind of works. Let's do some more of that line shading. It's a very good way of shading if you're using a pen or a pencil. We'll just do some lines coming out of this area here, quite close together, just all parallel, coming out of that area there, and it just looks like we're doing a bit of shading, you see. And then you can even do just some parallel lines coming out of that bit. maybe make them a bit darker at one end and leave a little bit of space in between. And we're just sort of describing our superheroes' muscliness. If you look in a comic book, you'll see they use these kind of techniques all the time. Okay, then let's just add a little tiny line in the middle there. That's very tiny, just to suggest the middle of his chest, like that. And then you can even add, he's got a little bit of a six-pack going on. Let's just add a little sort of curvy bit there. Maybe even just a little suggestion of another curvy bit there with some more of those little lines. Like that. So you can sort of see his little six-pack starting to take shape. Let's add a bit of shading on this side. Now this is a balled up fist. We're going to do a diagonal line coming up out of that bit. And we're going to go straight up. Let's go straight up all the way through the glove like that in a dead straight line. And we'll come down like so. Out. I'm going quite quickly, so do feel free to pause this video a bit. Like that. Let's now just colour in this area. I really can't wait to see how you get on. It'll be very interesting because this is quite an advanced video, I think. But I'm really hoping that you can. By pressing your pause button, you can keep up with me. And what we're going to do, we're just going to go in, sort of follow his arm muscle round, but we're going to go to a point and then we're going to come back. Then we'll colour that area in. Like that. So we're using all sorts of little techniques and tricks and tips here. We need to do a bit of shading up here. We're going to carry that muscle round, then we're going to turn, and we're going to go straight up, colour that area in. We could even, let's add sort of a curvy bit there for a shoulder muscle, and why don't we add a bit more of our sort of line shading, getting smaller, like that. We can add a bit more muscle going up around there, colour that bit in too. There we go. A bit more shading. See, these lines are it's a very useful technique. Sort of very close together lines. It really helps you describe the shape of the underlying muscle. You can just add little bits here and there to help with your drawing. Like that, we can add a little line in there, and then, so yeah, we're getting pretty good. We're getting pretty close to that looking superhero-esque. Right, let's get back to some drawing and less shading. Let's do a belt. Superheroes always wear their belts, don't they? They always wear their underpants on the outside of their tights for a start, and they're always held up with a belt for some reason. So what we're going to do, we're going to make that bottom bit into a kind of rectangle. Like so, okay? In the middle of that rectangle, or slightly to the left of centre as we look, but in the middle of his rectangle, we're going to add a sort of egg shape on its side. Then let's add another vertical line at that end, and then two vertical lines kind of in the middle there for his little superhero belt. Yeah, good. So far, so good. Right, then we're going to draw a little line coming down slightly diagonally on that side. Then let's think about this. I need to get this right. We're going to come out in a kind of curve and go down to about there for a big sort of muscular thigh muscle. Okay, got it? Then we're going to go let's go down sort of an angle like that. I'm kind of thinking as I go here. I'm kind of making it up as I go a little bit, but hopefully I'm going to get this right. When I draw this, I don't usually talk about it. When I draw it, I just kind of do it. So I'm really having to think about what I say. So a little centimetre straight line. Then let's do another curve for the calf muscle, and that's going to curve down to about there. I don't want him to have his legs to kind of be too long. So like that. This is going to be sort of where his boot is. Now superheroes always wear these kind of funny sort of tight boots, don't they, superheroes? If you think of Superman, he's got these tight boots on. So we're going to do this foot. It's going to come down diagonally towards the bottom of our page, at an angle like that. Then we're going to turn sharply in a straight line. Then we're going to go horizontally again. Lots of straight lines here. Then we're going to go up diagonally like that. Then we're going to go up diagonally, but actually slightly curved, like so. And that's going to be his foot, believe it or not. Let's give him a little ankle. So we come out and we go in, just in there, like a little ankle. He's got very thin ankles, hasn't he? Then we're going to come out in a muscly sort of calf muscle shape. I might have done that a bit big. That's all right. I'll come back in again, like that, in a big calf muscle shape. Then we're just going to start slightly below. We're going to go up and in for the knee, like that. Then we do the inside of his thigh. We'll go up there to the midpoint, like so. Let's carry on going, shall we? We're going to come down again now for the other leg, like that, to about there, maybe a little bit lower, Got to sort of be level a bit with that knee. In fact, I'm going to start back up here now because I want to get this right. We're going to come back out for the calf muscle. So let's come out, sort of curve it around like the other one, like that. They always stand in this heroic poses, don't they, with their legs astride in a really sort of a position of strength. But then we are going to come down for a knee. In fact, this leg's going to be quite straight. We're going to come all the way down to about there in a pretty straight line, which is the front of that leg. And then we do the foot. This foot is going to be sticking out at an angle, like that. Strange pointy-toed superhero boot. And we're going to come back in, slight curve, up and along. And then let's turn around on the heel. There we go. A nice pointy superhero heely boot. Let's give our superhero a nice big calf muscle like the other one over here. I did quite big. So we're going to go up a little bit, straight, and we're just going to curve out like so, and then we're going to curve back in. And there we go. There is our superhero's leg, the sort of the outline of our superhero's legs. Remember what I said about the underpants? They wear their underpants on the outside. So let's draw a little line coming up there. And we'll draw another little line going in there. There we go, our superhero's underpants. The boots, we're going to do one boot coming up diagonally there. Shall we do it? His boot goes to a sort of little point. So we do a little point like that, table guy. Same on this side. Just a little point there for our superhero's boots. Actually, let's do two lines. The boot's going to have like two lines there. We'll do one there, and then we'll do one underneath there. There we go. Nice boot shape. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of shading now on the legs. We're going to start actually with his underpants. We're going to add, because at the moment we've got to imagine the light's coming from this side. That's why we've done all this kind of dark stuff on the left hand side of the arms and the body. Okay, so we're going to do the same here. We'll do a few sort of diagonally lines and a bit of zigzagging, just going across his underpants like that. Okay, and then let's see there, let's just colour all that in. So the left hand side we're just going to colour in with that pen again, like so. Nice and careful, colour it in nice and black, and this will really help to give our superhero, make it look kind of dramatic, the lighting look nice and dramatic on our table guy drawing. Okay, there we go. If you like, you can add a few little lines here and there like we did before, but it's kind of just a little bit of shading. These kind of parallel line shading effects work really well, I think, like that. Okay, then we're going to add a bit of shadow on the leg here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to draw, let's draw a kind of curved line coming down there and then going back up there, and then another one coming down there, going really close to the edge of his thigh like that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go up and down there, and we're going to colour all of this bit in. Okay, so all of that part of his leg is in shadow. Like so. And guess what? We're going to add some of our little line work. Just following that curve around. Just like that. Just again, we're just using this just to describe the shadow that's going on here. There's going to be some more shadow on this portion of the leg. We're going to, in fact, we'll come in a bit in a little curve, and what we'll do again, we won't just colour all this in, we'll just go to some points with our lines. So we'll do some vertical line shading, like so. Like that. And in fact, let's keep going down. We'll put all of this bit of the foot in shadow. Like that. Carry these lines down. Why don't we do that? Carry them right to the bottom. Like that. In fact, add a few more right at the bottom. Just some vertical lines, and even if you like, you can take them all down so they're really thick at the bottom. You sort of get this effect. Like that, where the foot disappears into shadow there. We can add a few lines coming up here just to describe this area of the calf muscle, like that. Maybe even a few sort of diagonal lines in there, a few coming that way as well. Told you it's complicated, didn't I? Honestly, if you're following me carefully, you will be so proud of your drawing. There we go. Bit of calf muscle action going on there. Let's add some bit of shading on this side of the thigh here. Now this side of this thigh, this leg here is going to be much lighter. It's not going to be in anywhere near as much kind of shadow. We just add a few kind of little lines just describing roughly how this looks. We can add, let's do a bit of a nice kind of pointy shape following that calf around, like that, just to add a bit of detail. We're going to come down here, we've got to draw the knee. Knees are funny things, aren't they? I'm going to draw, I want to do a bit of shadow on this side to make his leg look a bit three-dimensional. So why don't we come down there into his ankle? We'll leave a little bit of light there, I think, but we will colour all this middle bit in with our black pen, like so. Like that. Can you see? It really does work. It's making our superhero look like a comic book character. These little liney bits really do help with that. A bit more down there, like so. Why don't we add some sort of coming off to the side there, just sort of blend that shadow out so it's not too much of a straight line, like that. We'll add a little, tiny little couple of lines there, just on the foot bit, the technical term, the foot bit. Maybe a bit of shading in the form of a line there, and in there we can make that a bit thicker. And there we go. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. We are going to colour this later, so a lot of these kind of black areas we're going to sort of blend into the colour, so it sort of makes it, it won't be quite so obvious as it is now when it's just black and white like this. Okay, let's go back up to our cloak now. Now I only did the first part of our cloak because I wanted to get the rest of the body kind of drawn before we went any further. So now we're going to do the cloak. It's going to be billowing right out here, so this is a fun bit. We're going to go from just the sort of bottom part of his neck. We're going to go out to the right. We're going to go just past that line we drew there. And go right out to the edge of our page, I think. We might just do it a bit curved. So it goes down and then up. And then down again. A bit sort of undulating. And then we want to get back to about here, okay? So we're going to, let's make this a point. We'll curve around and we'll start coming down our page like that. And then we will just go up. And we'll just disappear into the arm, like that. We'll come out the other side, and then we'll go down and in, like that. And there we go. A fabulous, billowing superhero cape. It probably is a superhero who's got cake capabilities. Cake boy or cake girl, something like that. Okay, let's just add a little line in here because there'll be lots of folds, won't there? In this cape will come down, go up and around, just in a little kind of foldy shape, like so. And then just to carry on our shading technique, why don't we do under here, we'll just sort of do, we'll add a little bit of a little shape of black shading like that, and then we can do some of our lines like this that just sort of come down diagonally and disappear in behind there. It just makes it look slightly more three-dimensional, but I think it's important to do these graphic bits of shading with all that line work. Whew! This is quite exhausting, this one, isn't it? Right, okay, we're going to add some shading here on the neck. Under the chin we would have a little bit of black area, sort of diagonal black area under the chin. There we go, sort of lifts it forward. You can add in a couple of lines to describe the neck area like this, maybe a sort of little V shape in like that, a little line there, a bit of shading, a few little black lines here and there like that. There we go. I'm not sure about that, but maybe let's just add a few more vertical lines. Yeah, that's better. Okay, right, now let's do Table Guy's face. Right, we're going to start up here with the brow. Okay, so in that little bit where his kind of his sideburn, the side bit of his hair goes into that curved bit, right at that point I want you just to draw a little line just coming up slightly like that, and then it goes to a point and then it comes down and it goes across. So this is going to be a sort of brow. Now we will come back to that area in a minute, but first let's establish where his nose is. So we're going to go about 1/4 centimetre in from the edge. I just want you to draw a dead straight line down like that, about level with where his sideburn is, and then we'll just come across, and that is going to be Table Guy's nose. Okay, so just L shape, nice and easy. Just below that we're going to do Table Guy's mouth. Superhero mouths are quite easy. We're just going to draw a little line. It just goes up very slightly to the left, but that's it. It's really simple. And then at the end of that we do a really tiny little thin line, at the end. And then all you do underneath that, you just draw a little tiny area, almost like an upside down triangle, which helps you tell you where the bottom lip is by doing a little bit of shadow underneath it. And that's it. That's how you draw superheroes' mouths. If you look in comic books, that's really how they do them. They always sort of seem to have these little lines on their chins, superheroes, like that, like a little bum in the chin. That's not a very nice way of describing it, but that's how I describe it. Bum chin. Okay, let's do the eyes now. So underneath the brow here, what I want you to draw, a little kind of straight line like that, and then a semicircle. And that's going to be our superhero's eye. Over here, the other eye, we just see the very end of it, like so. And then inside that we'll do the pupil. We do the pupil over to the right hand side, so it sort of is looking at us. And we'll do it right over there. So Table Guy is kind of looking at us. And we're going to do the eye, and all of this bit is going to be in shadow. So first of all, colour in that a little bit there. Then, why don't we draw another line next to the nose, like that, to draw so we establish where the bridge of the nose is. And then we're just going to sort of put all of this bit in shadow. So we're going to colour in all around it. We're going to do some of our little lines, just coming out of the side of the eye, like that. And then actually we'll just go right across, so that whole eye is in shadow. In fact, this whole area here up behind the nose and on the other side is in shadow. In fact, do you know what, I'm going to get rid of that eye. The whole side of his face is in shadow, like that. Make it nice and heroic. Whew. Like that. We're not going to give him any lines on his forehead, I don't think. We won't do that. We'll just do the whole side of his face in shadow. In fact, what you can do, you can come down there and we can add just, let's take that across, all the way across and down, and we'll do the whole side of his face in shadow like that. Very heroic. We've got to give him a nice cheekbones. Superhero's got lovely cheekbones. So just up here, we do a little curve like that, and then we do a little line like that, just going down his face, just to describe where his cheekbones might be. They're always very handsome, aren't they? Male superheroes. Very sort of square-jawed and handsome. Now the hair, we are going to add, we want the hair just to be catching the light here a bit. So what we're going to do, we're just going to add some sort of horizontal rectangles in this area of the hair here, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to add some sort of shapes that just follow the quiff up and around like that in there. And they can get gradually sort of shorter, like so. Maybe do a couple sort of going that way, like that. And then we're going to colour in around them, because Table Guy here has got very dark hair, but it's very shiny dark hair, hence all these little highlights. So those little funny banana shapes, they're going to make our hair look like it's a bit shiny once we've coloured in around them. See? So carefully colour, we're colouring that whole sideburn. Go right down to that first. It seems a long time ago that we did the hair now. Colouring around it really carefully, like that. And if you make those shapes bigger than you need them to be, then you can always, if they look too big once you've coloured everything in, we'll have a look in a minute when I've finished, and you can always colour into them a little bit more. They do look a bit big, I think, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go a bit further into them, just so that little white areas are a bit thinner, like this. I'm just going to go on the side, it's easier for me to do it like that. In fact, what you can do, you can just put a little line just through the middle of a couple of them, and just make them look thinner and smoother. Alternatively, if you don't want to be bothered with doing all of this bit, you can just do solid black hair. It's totally up to you. Just wanted to leave a little bit of highlight in mine, just so it describes the fact that the hair is shiny. There we go. Actually, what I might do here, I'm just going to come out a bit to make his brow a little bit more kind of prominent, like that. And then, in fact, what we can do, let's do it. Let's just add a couple of little lines horizontally in his brow, like that, to make it look like he's slightly frowning. There we go, and that is our superhero's head pretty much done. Pretty good, looking good. Oh, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I think Table Guy, I seem to remember he has just a couple of little loose bits of hair sticking out that way. There we go, that's Table Guy sorted. Right, the next thing to do is we need to do the big logo on Table Guy's chest. Now Table Guy is called Table Guy, so he has a great big T and a great big G, and they're really big on his chest. So we're going to do the T like this. T. And it's sort of going to disappear into the shadow down there. And this is our centre point here, the middle of his chest. So we've got a T that then goes all the way down there and sort of disappears into the shadow. And then the G comes up and around like this. You see much more of the G because there's not as much shadow over here. But as I said earlier, you don't have to draw Table Guy. You could make up your own superhero and their own little logo and put that on their chest. So it could be Apple Man, and you could just draw a big apple on the chest. That's the fun bit. I think it's really fun to invent your own little superhero characters. I really like the superheroes in Peanut Jones. In fact, I'm really, really tempted, and I think I might do this. I might write a story for the superheroes because I think they're really cool. set of characters, you know, superheroes with not so great powers. I think it's a really fun idea. That's, you know what, I think we're pretty much finished now with the outline of Table Guy. I could add a lot more shadow in these areas behind at the sort of the back of the cloak, but actually I'm just going to colour that. I think I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to do too much shading anymore because I've done quite a lot of shading in this drawing, and you guys, I'm sure, are itching to get colouring. Now, the great thing about superheroes is their costumes. You can do any colours you like. The key things to remember are the gloves. I think the gloves and the boots, things like that, they should all be different kind of colours to the tights and the pants and the belt. So you've got lots of different areas of colour that you can use. I'm going to try and stick to the colours that Table Guy wears in real life. Now, they're not very exciting colours because they're sort of browns and oranges like tables, you know, browns like the woods of tables. So they're browns and oranges, maybe a bit of yellow here and there. But feel free, you might not have done Table Guy, you might have called your character a different name. So feel free to make yours as brightly coloured as you like. Right, I'm going to disappear off into super speed mode to colour mine in, and I'll see you back here in a minute with a fully coloured in Table Guy. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, there is my coloured in Table Guy. So you can see these are Table Guy's suit colours as described in the book. It's kind of a brown spandex bodysuit. So different shades of brown. I've made it slightly brighter, a bit more attractive, kind of like orangey brown with a nice orange logo. And then his cape is bright green, his belt is bright green, so a nice couple of bright accents in there. And actually I think it's quite a nice suit. It's quite a nice suit, but I can't wait to see what kinds of suits you have given your superheroes, because they might be all sorts of different colours. And I can't wait to see what you've called your superheroes either, because some of you might have drawn Table Guy, but some of you might have drawn your own characters. And I can't wait to see how creative you get. I'm proud of this one. It was a tricky one, wasn't it? I'm not going to lie. This is definitely the hardest Draw with Rob so far. The most complicated, should I say. Lots and lots of little bits. Lots and lots of bits of shading. But, you know, let's see how you get on, shall we? I think you're going to surprise yourselves with this one. Hopefully you have surprised yourselves and you've come up with something that you're super, super proud of. Right. Time for me to sign my drawing. Where shall I sign it? Let's do it here. Biddulph. There we go. Signed drawing. Make sure you sign yours so everybody knows who has created these wonderful superheroic works of art. Now, I didn't tell you why at the beginning why I wanted to draw Table Guy now, but it's because the paperback version of the second Peanut Jones book is just about to come out at the time of recording. It's called Peanut Jones and the 12 Portals, so it's got a crayon on the side. The first one had a pencil, this one's got a crayon. And this is the book in paperback. So as you can see, lots and lots and lots of black and white illustrations in this book. It took me a long time to do all these drawings, but I am super, super, super proud of them. So I hope you enjoy these drawings, enjoy looking at these drawings as much as I enjoyed drawing them. But you can pick that up now from wherever you get your books. If you have a local bookshop, please support your local bookshop and get it from your local bookshop, but you can get it online as well. It's called Peanut Jones and the 12 Portals. It's the second in the Peanut Jones trilogy and I'm super proud of it. And Table Guy, if you look very closely on the cover, can you see Table Guy makes a little appearance alongside, hang on, let's come out of it, Cheese Girl, and there Inferno on fire there. So there's Table Guy there. So that's why I wanted to draw Table Guy with you guys today. Right, I want to see your drawings, obviously. If you get somebody to take a picture of your drawings and send it to me using this hashtag, Draw with Rob. If you post your drawing on social media with that hashtag, then I will get to see it. If you're watching in Facebook, just comment underneath the post with a picture of your drawing. and that way I'll get to see them. I really can't wait to see, because it is a tricky one, but I remember we've done other tricky ones. We did Jonathan Higginbottom, who was another character in the Peanut Jones books, and that was a very complicated one, and your drawings blew my mind. They were so good. We also, number 54 I think was Pirate Ship. That was a very tricky one too. And again, quite often when I do my live events, some of the children come to my events with their folders full of all the drawings they've done, and they're always really, really proud of their pirate ships and their Jonathan Higginbottoms, because I think those ones, sometimes if you work a bit harder and you put more effort in, which you have to do with these harder drawings, then the reward is even more, it's even bigger, isn't it? Because if it's something that's taken you a lot of effort and it's been very difficult, you're almost more proud of that drawing. So I hope you managed to stick with me in drawing this superhero. I hope you've learned something about drawing superheroes from watching this video. But most of all, I hope that you've enjoyed it and you're really proud of your drawings, because I really think you should be. So do send me your pictures. Make sure you're subscribing to my YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. Turn your notifications on. That way when there's a new video, you'll get notified. Also, subscribe to my newsletter if you're not already subscribed. That's the best way to get news first about all the stuff I do, videos or books or tours, that kind of thing. And there we go. That's it. I hope you've had fun. I've had fun. It's been tricky for me. It's been a challenging one for me too. But as I said, I'm very proud of it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to be back very soon with another Draw with Rob video. In the meantime, take care everybody. Keep those pencils sharpened and have fun. Bye everyone. Hello everyone, just when you thought you got rid of me, here I am again, popping up at the end of your video to annoy you. And I'm here today to tell you all about this, the brand new Draw with Rob activity book, and it's called Amazing Animals. And that's because it's full of loads of amazing animals. It's true, it really is. We've got little ones, like this guy here. We have got some really big ones. We have got animals that live in the sea. We have got animals that spend most of their time up in the sky. And of course, there's loads and loads of really, really cute ones. What's in the book, I hear you ask? Well, we have got loads and loads of really cool and quite tricky puzzles for you to do. We've got some pages where I start the drawings off and you guys get to finish them. We have got lots of really, really nice colouring pages for you to do too. And of course, it wouldn't be a Draw with Rob book without lots of exclusive, never before seen draw-alongs. And I've got the frames as per usual for you to put the pictures in. And of course, all the pages are perforated. So once you've done your beautiful works of art, you can tear them out and stick them up on the wall and display them for all to see. And then when you get to the end of your book, look, we've got a really cool certificate. You put your name in there and it says, this is to certify that your name is officially an amazing animal artist. Isn't that cool? The book is out right now. You can get it right now from wherever you get your books, be it online or from your local bookshop, if you can, please. It was so much fun to put this book together. I really, really loved doing it. I really, really hope you love the book too. I think if you like these videos, I think you're going to love this book, to be honest. So get yourself a copy. If you do, let me know what you think of it. Right, I better let you go. You've got to get on with your day, haven't you? I'm going to be back very soon with another Draw with Rob video. In the meantime, everybody, keep those pencils sharpened, keep on drawing, keep on reading, and take care. Bye-bye.